Drive on Lugnutz.
Nothing left to do but to crank over those engines, gearheads, 'cause 'tis none other than us, the Lugnutz podcast.
Thank you for joining us. Recorded December 2024. This is the last one. What? Mazda does stuff. Nikola needs a bankruptcy lawyer. Hyundai vows. Kia. And stuff's going on with Porsche. It's all right, not in this country. That and more. Happy New Year.
Enjoy the show. Drive on Lugnutz.
Right on over here, facebook.com/Lugnutz podcast. That's where you're going to find all of our luggy and nutty polished content coming to you ever so slightly behind. But one thing that's not behind is this first story.
I think that's the CEO, Mascheroni Moro, spoke about Mazda's future. They're 100% stuck on the rotary engine as the upcoming PHEV range extender beyond just the 30. That's the little SUV.
Right.
Then they got the three-rower, which is the 60 or the 90.
I think the three-row is the
them.
90.
Then the suburban one is the 90.
Yeah,
Big back
the
end
60,
as
and then
well.
the 90. Yeah.
There's so many variants.
Hard to keep up.
They do say that by 2030, with a plug to make up only about a third of the brand's U.S. sales. Okay. Customers are looking for affordable solutions rather than electrified solutions, which ain't that right.
Right.
Looking for the best value that the consumer can have.
Mm-hmm.
Why would I want to buy something that's not?
Yeah, and if you don't have value to it, it's like buying a cheap speaker from a gas station. It's gonna shit out.
And most people are currently still looking for a combustion engine.
Yeah. Oh God, yeah. But there's that thing, the statistic I saw. Oh, fact I saw, not a statistic. But in the turn of the last century, the 1900s, you had only about 21% of cars actually being combustion engines. Everything else were electric and steam engines.
Cool. If you got a steam engine car and it's still on the road, give us a contact at PJ
all of the how many times somebody gave you the finger for driving a steam engine car on the road.
Yeah, but it was like, wow, look at that. You're number one.
Any of the fingers, which ones and how many? Which one was the most popular finger?
Well, back to the current experience with Mazda, and they said that this, with the internal combustion, applies to the entry-level Mazdas, which is the 30 and the 3, which are both fantastic choices.
Well, very high-selling and popular cars.
I bought one. The company had previously expected 25 to 40% electrification by 2030, as they announced to the world, but now only about 25%.
Okay.
So it's more realistic expectations, I think. We're not ready to go all electric yet. And where's the power coming from? The same.
You want to power your house or do you want to power your car?
That's the thing. The power, the pollution problem, even if we were to do everything right.
Mm-hmm. A lot more nuclear energy, solar, wind power, stuff like that.
The problem's still going to persist because India and China are building more coal plants. So,
yeah.
It's not the cars, it's the houses.
And the boats. Can't forget the boats. The boats are a big fucking thing. We're shipping shit all around the world. Think a couple sailboats from one company are going to solve the shipping concerns? No.
Well, Mazda's going to solve their concerns in their cars with lithium batteries for the 2030 and beyond. We're going to go beyond this next story. The new Toyota Urban Cruise EV. Toyota introduced the second electric model. Concept first shown about a year ago. It looks
bland. It looks just like Toyota.
looks like someone melted a marshmallow, and this is what they got.
Do you want to know
Here,
what
I'll set it down.
You know what? You want to know what Toyota tastes like? Vanilla.
This one especially. Look, it's very vanilla.
Like every Toyota, bland. Like not even like that high quality bean vanilla that you get from Breyers. This is like store brand vanilla. This is just cream that was frozen.
Well, you're going to find this frozen cream only in Europe. If you'd want one here, you're going to have
thank
to
God.
import this subcompact crossover with an electric platform, which is shared with the Suzuki e-Vitara.
I would love this as like an ice cream cake, though.
It measures 167 inches long. It is the smallest new SUV currently selling.
It makes sense why they're bragging about that for it being in Europe. Like we were just saying, I think last podcast, most roads weren't made for cars, especially over there.
Yeah.
I think Grand Tour has shown us that time and time again. Like those roads were not made for like American cars.
A smaller SUV for a foreign market, such as the Yaris crossover. Front-wheel drive variant gets 142 horsepower, 139 torques as standard. 49 kilowatt-hour battery, or you can upgrade to the 61 kilowatt-hour battery. Peak horsepower rises to 172. Battery used lithium ion phosphate in its chemistry to make go juice.
Okay.
Larger battery requires a dual motor setup, all-wheel drive, which is good for 181 horsepower, 181 horsepower and 221 torques.
It's not your grandmom's Yaris. It's not your grandmom's Yaris.
Yeah, they didn't provide any other details.
Well, I remember working for a Toyota and the seasoned mechanic saying, hey, you want a solid car, you grab a manual 5-speed Yaris and you will drive that thing until Armageddon. So getting a beefed up, I mean, Yaris, it makes sense, small, expanding it out, you know, especially for Europe.
Get you from here to there, and when you're getting from here to there, you get a 10.3-inch digital gauge cluster, infotainment screen, 10.1, Apple CarPlay, and all those other features that we love. It public debut 2025 Brussels.
Okay. That's a big car show for people to announce cars at and just debut them at. So, especially giving people a lead in now. Probably going to be a lot more detailed, thing in Brussels in 2025, which is like now.
And if you're lucky, maybe you could see the muscles in Brussels. Or this next. Nikola. Just like Tesla, things aren't going well, and I don't mean the car company. Bankruptcy is in their future. They're having a bit of problem with their hydrogen semi-trucks that's sort of dragging the whole company under and gonna ruin them.
Yep. Well, I mean, that's bound to happen sometimes.
They're having some issues, and they may need to file from bankruptcy. Here's the problem when I go to look up news for companies like Nikola. All I get is the stock price info, why their stock. Why don't I ever see anything on the cars? Why are there no, I'm a car show. I'm not a stock price show.
Well, I mean, you see here,
Cars.
you got, this is a truck, especially, a
Clearly
utility truck
truck
that's
that
going
must
to
not
be
work.
transporting, cargo containers and shit like that. So,
Well,
that's the kind of market that they're in.
This
apparently.
truck is going to be part of a bankruptcy settlement. Look, things could be looking up in this new year for this next story.
Wow, we just had this story just to shit on them and their bankruptcy here.
A little bit.
That's pretty cool.
That's it.
All right.
There's
mean,
never any information on the cars. Like,
I was excited
never a
because we haven't
review,
talked about these
never.
guys in a long time, and we're just shitting on them.
You know why we haven't talked about these guys in a long time? This is why, because they can't get their shit together. All right, let's just stop stomping on their face. Audi rebrands only in China.
That's smart.
The land of China, they're going to rebrand. The four rings originally dated back to the 30s, referring to the four German automakers that united to form Audi.
Yeah.
But they're not going to do that. The company's press material came to be synonymous with Audi's pursuit of excellence, a timeless symbol of legacy, blah, 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 interweaving the past, present, and future.
Isn't that what they all try to do? Like with every car, you try to blend
you wanna
the
learn
past,
from
present,
the
and
past,
future.
like what
Yeah.
recalls you don't want to use rollers.
Like, hey,
where
we
you're gonna
don't
wear.
use Takata airbags anymore. Not even just because they're not a company.
I bet you next year I'm going to get a Takata airbag recall
Oh my God.
again. So, by the way, we found more. Turns out these things are in everything. You've been driving a death trap this whole time.
Just don't hit anyone.
Well, they announced at the Shanghai Auto Show that they're going to rebrand with the name Audi
Okay.
above your head there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just
That
going to
one.
call it Audi, spelled out on the trunk and the grille. Center caps of the wheels also. First concept, Audi
It
E.
looks weird. It really it looks weird. I know it's just they're spelling their name out, but
Yeah.
Audi, I've always like looked at how I spelled it. Like, am I spelling this right? Like, did a toddler make this word? Probably did, but it's the name of the fucking company, bud. So I just went with it. Seeing it spelled out on a grill, it's not the same.
It reminds me of a more stylish Kia.
Yeah, it looks like a fucking Kia. Like you put more polish on a Kia.
There's nothing wrong with a Kia.
No, I love
But-
Legos.
For Audi,
Yeah, no.
I would expect to be like, wow.
You're going to
Instead of
start
like,
calling
hey,
your,
it looks like a-
this is the Audi Jeb. All right. Sure. What happened to you, Audi? Have you gone through like a midlife
Well-
crisis or something?
Well, this is for the minimalist view to appeal to younger Chinese buyers. Maybe we just don't understand. Americans, they don't understand.
Well, here's the thing. You're changing it to AUDI. In China, they have a whole other language.
Yeah. Well, look, Audi means Audi in China because they've
Well,
been
yeah,
there
I mean-
since the 1980s, the late 80s.
But yeah, I mean, but, you know, they know the rings. Like, I mean, maybe you're trying to, I get you're trying to appease that younger generation in this, but
And thanks to, they made partnerships with domestic manufacturers to become a Chinese auto brand.
you know, maybe Kias are a lot more popular over there, and the looks that they have in their cars. Maybe it's a style thing and a culture thing that they're more popular.
They have seen a 10% dip in vehicles this year, so rebrand.
All right, so we rebrand. It's not that bad. You know, you just add the name of the company on the front and back of the car, and it's almost like what Toyota did with Scion back in the day. Like, hey, we're going to go towards the younger generation, and we're making Scion. And then we're like, all right, nobody bought that shit.
We're going
never
to
gonna
go
do
for the Fast and Furious generation with pretend auto sounds and shifting. Oh, wait. That's the next story. Dodge Daytona's first EV, two-door headliner. The new Charger this will replace the Charger
it. Okay.
in the lineup, the long-standing sedan coupe. They'll also add a four-door Charger variant 2025, as well as a gas-burning six-packs and a turbo six-pack. Wow. With a V6 in there.
Nice.
That'll be a nice car with a turbo and a V6. That'll be a monster.
Oh, yeah.
It's an interpretation of the iconic 1968 Charger design.
Okay.
That's a nice looking front end.
That is a nice front end.
I like that. It's got a
I like the
nice-
rims too. Oh wow.
Go up to the photos so we don't.
Yeah, we don't want that.
Air
But photo. There we go.
There's
Nice,
a full photo.
nice
of this.
blue.
That's a
though.
really nice.
That is a really nice blue. I like the overall style of the car. It just looks like an American muscle car. Let me scroll up a little bit
They
here. Now the
revealed
fans can see
the
it.
dual motor Skat Pack combined, getting a 670 horsepower and 627 torques.
So does-
screwed in there.
So does ska play when you drive? Like skitty scat 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 bap bap bap.
I don't think it's that type of Skat.
Oh, thank God. Nobody would buy it if it was that
Like
other
the
one.
Skat Pack replaced with traditional jazz. Can I get a
Really?
Miles
Do you-
Davis pack?
We
How about a
have
John
it.
Coltrane? You got a Coltrane pack?
We have them available, but do you really want it? I mean, we have a bunch used.
Well, there's an electronically tamed version to 496 horsepower and 440 horsepower,
Mild.
unless you engage the Skat Pack.
That's when the jazz hits in.
power.
You're like, hang on, man, we're hitting the scat pack. Like, oh, God, no. And you're driving, and it's just...
Skip, boom. Okay. I can't think of words. Why'd you say skippity scoop scoop? Skippity skip skip.
I'm just going to make up my own words.
Yeah.
I don't have to have lyrics. I can make up my own. It's fine. It's fine. The scat pack button.
Skat Pack button, you get an extra 40 horsepower.
But
But
That's
only
a special kind of masochist that gets that option on a car.
Yeah, you get a Skat Pack, and you get it for. Oh, wait, it's only 10 seconds. You only get 10 seconds of boost for your Skat Pack.
All right, well, that's a lot more manageable
Yeah.
of the irrational jazz
Be
music.
scatting
that
all
comes-
over the place, but only for 10 seconds. See, that's how they made it doable.
A 10-second scat. Like, look, we pulled this. We really sent out to people, and they can only do 10 seconds max. Max is 10 seconds. Most people turn it off before then. So we're going to cap it at 10 seconds.
They underneath they Hot Wheeled the top of this car on the bottom, which is Stellantis's STLA large platform because the Charger is the bigger car.
Mm-hmm.
Total size is 121 inches.
Okay.
Most spacious quarters they've ever seen in a two-door car. It's because they took a car and they
Well,
put
you
it on
look
the,
at the
on the body of the truck.
You look at the design right here to where it's very bubbled
It looks
and
huge. Yeah.
it's deep down here. So your passengers in the back actually have space,
Uh,
but you have plenty of headroom in the top
this
because
part
it's bubbled.
here down is probably
Mhm.
all battery.
Oh,
So,
battery
like,
down
it's
here. Yeah,
probably
battery into the back.
from here down.
But depending on the inside, if you do a true bubble like this is, you have a lot more head space, which sells out a bigger atmosphere inside the cabin, which is probably what they're feeling there. And it's just a nice front end design. It's a very slick and stylish designed car.
Out back.
I hope it doesn't, spontaneously, catch on fire in the future.
32 cubic feet of cargo space in the back, 37 if you fold down the seats, 400 volt architecture, 93.9 kilowatt hour battery beneath the floorboards. The weight is 3 tons.
Okay, so it's a heavy bitch. It's a heavy bitch.
Check.
It's
You're going to have to look at those signs above bridges.
oh yeah,
Because otherwise, the
You're gonna
bridge
fall.
is going to collapse.
yeah. You're gonna be that guy.
And you're going to get a very large fine
Oh my
if my uncle Chris tells us the truth.
Oh my god, that's gonna be. Oh, you need Vaseline a lot, like an industrial sized.
In ideal conditions,
Yeah.
which isn't Pennsylvania lately, 24-minute recharge time from 20 to 80%.
Not now.
350
Not here.
kilowatt DC fast charge, estimated range 241 miles for the Skat Pack. Skippity skip scat. 308 miles
I just
for the
love
RT.
I love the marketing department of this story. It's really, it's what we really draw on in this podcast is just stories like this and your dumb names. I really love you guys. It's great. I love your Skat Pack. I'm not picking apart and smelling your Skat Pack, but I'm picking up and putting it back down.
0 to 60, mid 3 seconds.
Oh, that's good.
Quarter mile, 11. High 11s.
Okay.
There might be a Daytona version. It's got the exhaust chamber noise maker.
So, is that going to be scatting as well?
I think that's where the scat comes from. It's essentially
Where does your scat come from? The noisemaker.
It's essentially, it's a
Are these
rear
guys
audio.
5?
It's a rear audio system beneath the car that makes it sound like it goes vroom, 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 vroom.
It's like one
Although
of the
they probably-
designers just let their 5-year-old name something in the car.
I wonder if this person's going to have the fake shifter as well.
We get
Yeah, I can be
we get
fast
the-
and furious. Look,
we get
27 shifts.
the Fast and the Furious edition, and you get
I'm
like
cool, right? Look.
27 gear
Gotta
changes,
change that gear because I put a truck.
and they don't do anything. It's
Gotta change gears again. Can I put a truck transmission in this muscle car? Oh, boy. Let's go see what the Koreans are doing.
Let's get some of those like car manufacturer shows. Let's get a truck transmission in one of these cars.
Let's not.
Let's get a goddamn Fast and the Furious style to where you gotta fucking shift that thing all the time. I just think that would be so goddamn funny. I mean, we made the joke about just having an electric car with 27 different gear shifters.
Look, Curly,
and
here's what
nothing.
we want to do. We're going to take this truck transmission and we're going to put it in this 4-cylinder Pontiac.
Oh my
Why?
God.
Because that's what we could find the cheapest.
I mean, hey, I got this V6 engine. I'll loan to you. Cool. It'll make it be even better because that'll be a great episode right there to where we're just making this ridiculous idea happen.
Well, what we're going to do ridiculous now is with this next story. Hyundai vows. Hyundai Motors chairman vows to employees the really best is yet to come.
Okay.
Thursday, he had a town hall meeting with the company. Our journey has been amazing so far.
The town
best
hall meeting?
is yet to come with his company. Yeah.
So is like the company just like
They'll
encompassing
go
like a
into that-
whole
you know
town?
when you walk into the corporate headquarters and they got
Yeah.
that big area? Everybody go there so I can address you.
Yeah, it's just weird hearing it like a town meeting. Like everybody goes to
Like a
it's just a
politician?
fucking
Yeah.
a village. You're like, all right, everybody, town meeting.
When you get to a certain level of running a company, you are kind of like, in a way, I guess, a politician because there's so many people.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Hyundai opened a new smart facility in last November to build custom EVs so buyers can personalize their car from their home.
Oh my God, can you imagine? What was it? The bedazzled. When people were
Bedazzled.
putting bedazzled. You imagine like I want a bedazzled EV. And they just like bedazzle an entire fucking EV. I imagine like somebody in the Arab Emirates or one of those countries
No,
like
they would
ordering
They'd
one of
use
those
real
cars.
diamonds. They'd use real diamonds. This one,
That's true.
the facility is 50% robots, so they need hardly any people. 50 more percent, they won't even need people.
I mean, yeah. Then you just have the robots taking care of each other and wing bang boom, no overhead.
Well, they said that AI and IT and robotics will be used together for domestic power here and overseas in the EV world.
So, kids, if
I
you
might
learn
have
anything from this podcast, know that there's going to be a very big demand for IT in the future.
And know that paraphrasing is your friend. They say Hyundai sales were up 77% last month with nearly 5,000 units sold.
Okay. I mean, At least they're getting some.
And you could get some of this right here. 2025 EV6 GT version. This is Kia's 641 horsepower, all-wheel drive. Looks like a monster.
I don't hate it, honestly. It looks pretty it looks pretty cool, honestly. I mean, it's a weird design, but it's kind of standard for the industry right now. I mean, I honestly, I don't really hate it at all. It looks kind of interesting. And how many horsepower?
641.
Oof.
2025 high-performance electric crossover. Kia's Korean website has the first look at the new EV. Doesn't look significantly different compared to the regular version, other than the 600.
Well, yeah, I imagine, like, it's a four-door, man. Like, you imagine getting in there, like, hey, my dad's going to drive us to school. We're going to be there in a minute.
And
really?
he's got 21.
I didn't think it would happen. And that kid would
I
be
wanted
shitting
a
himself.
facelift. Get in the back.
You know,
I look way younger, don't I?
look, I need you to put this bowl in the back seat. It's sealed, but just drive around and do a donut. I got to make some ice cream. Frosty.
0 to 60, 3.2 seconds. Get the kids to school and have plenty of room for groceries.
You know what I mean? All before noon.
It also has paddles on the back of the steering wheel, allow driver to simulate gear changes. You could pretend you're a Formula One driver, just like Lewis Hamilton or
Those flappy paddles, dude. I swear to God, I've never.
Look, these flappy pedals will
never
work
done it.
every time because they're not connected to anything.
I've just never found the need. Be like, no, I know it better than you, computer. Down a gear. No,
Oh.
I haven't needed it.
It gets better. It's going to inherit stuff from the Hyundai Ion 5N. I shall refresh your memory. The EV6 GT can mimic traditional dual clutch automatic changes and fake exhaust sounds. This is our future.
Yeah, everything's a simulation.
It can cosplay as a gas-powered car.
It's like that guy who's like walking around work
If you're
and
gonna,
he's go. I've met many people who do that sound when they're just walking around. I imagine it's not a full-on mental disorder. It's probably they're very passionate about like racing and driving maybe. I'm assuming there's no kind of like spectrum or disorder around it, but it's still very weird. So if you're one of those people, maybe do that in your head. Like don't and like the blow-off valve, you don't need to do the blow-off valve. Like nobody is going to think you're cooler because you're doing like a blow-off valve while you're walking through Walmart.
If you're gonna, unless you're 7.
Then you're the coolest motherfucker ever with your light-up shoes. Oh my God, you're on cloud 9. Then.
I'll tell you why. Because you're then this many. That one, not this one. That
and
one.
a half. And a half.
Yeah, I don't know how to do the half.
And a half. Yeah.
Get one for $62,975.
And you can have your own imaginary sounds like a real engine. You can feel like a real boy.
Pretending to shift. Yeah. You don't even have to make the sounds, because how else will everyone know you have a special version if it just kind of looks like the regular one but has a fucking monster under there?
Yeah, I mean, only ventriloquists have had this pleasure in EV cars of making it actually seem like a real engine.
Just if you're going to be an EV, just own it.
Yeah.
Oh.
You're silent. Just have some good, maybe some calming music. Boop, boo-doo, boop, boo-doo.
Well, let me tell you this. Porsche's going to need some calming music after this next story.
Oof.
Believe it or not, Porsche is losing.
Oof.
They're not doing well.
Like Nissan not doing
Sales
well?
are down 29% in
That's
China.
in China.
Yeah,
Wow.
in China, they're not
Wow.
doing well. The rest of the world, they're probably doing great. But in China, sales are down for the first time 29% in 9 months. I've announced plans to close nearly 30% of dealerships in the country by the end of 2026.
Ooh, that's rough.
Closing up shop and knocking down buildings.
Yeah.
Currently have 138 dealerships. They will reduce that to about 100.
Okay. Wow. Yeah, that's
Cutting
a
some of the
bit
extra,
of downsizing.
make it a bit harder to get.
It's a lot of awkward conversations there. Like, look, it's not you. It's us.
Should have 100 by 2026.
It's going to be awkward, you know? I mean, all those weird conversations. Then you got like those, I think there was a movie about it, about like somebody who was like a professional firer. He would go in there for corporations and just fire people, lay them the fuck off. I forget who it was. It was George Clooney.
There are people who have degrees in IO psychology. They show up and you basically, you know, where you interview for your office space.
Yeah.
That's what they do.
Yeah, it's like that. It was a George Clooney
Where
movie.
you
It
work
wa-
in
he was-
psychology and
He
work
was
in an
flying
institution.
around the country. I forget the goddamn name of it. Comment below if you know it, Wallhangers. But it was a really good movie. But that's all he did was like he was the Bobs in Office Space, and he just flew around and just fired the.
Fortunately, George Clooney hasn't done any movies, so he's done like what, one or two, Batman and another one. So it won't be hard to find, right? But what is easy to find is our websites. If you tap on the face internet boxes.
You can find it here, Facebook.com/Lugnutz podcast. And that's where you're going to find all of our luggy and nutty polished content. Make sure you go over to our parent site, is Facebook.com/PJANDWH, where you can find all of the Perjangers and Wallhangers Media Network footage and exciting stuff. I was just down at the Ocean City Comic-Con. There's that video going around. We have a Lugnutz special coming up. We have a lot of different things coming in the Perjangers and Wallhangers Media Network gang that you guys are really going to love. But ultimately, it doesn't matter if you drive a Maserati or a Lamborghini, because nothing rolls without Lugnutz. We'll see you next week, gang, and next year. Until then, drive on, Wallhangers. Bye-bye. That's right, buddy. Earning your credits for the year.
Broke the mic again.
Hero at time, Link Diablo. Another year around the sun with lucky and nutty fun.
I know.
With my little Linky Doodle bun. I know. You're the lucky and nuttiest. At least until they hit that like and subscribe button. And until next time, we love you, we miss you, we want to see you then. Drive on, Lugnutz. Bye-bye.
Drive on Lugnutz.